Are we live? Check, check, check. Hello world. Are we live? Is anyone going to join me? Or is everyone watching the real space YouTubers? Check, check. Hey Ian. Hey David. Live. David's on X. So I must be on X. Whacked me. Apparently it's a go. Sorry, I just got into the. Hey Hans. Hey Addy. How's the audio? How's the audio mix? Or should I turn the speakers down a bit? Check, check. Should be able to get the stream. Yep, you should be getting the stream and me. Check, check. So I should be louder than the stream in the background. Audio is not great. Your audio is okay, barely have the official audio. Okay, sorry. How's that? That audio should be better now. How's that? Give me a go, no go audio. It's a bit shit. Can't hear their audio. Oh. Pest audio. Mic is excluded audio broadcast. You must be able to hear their one now. Audio is weird. Any. Background sound is not there.
Quick reminder, you're going to see now? Fire start at the bottom. You're going to see the deflector start at about 10 seconds before launch. Lots of water to help dissipate all that heat, all that sound. And then the engine's starting up in 3 different groups. And then about a second after T0, we should see liftoff. About 2.5 minutes into the flight,
back.
A little bit longer, we'll see hot staging. And that's when we're going to be listening really close on those loops to see if we're going to be bringing the booster back for a catch today. Do always want to caution, it's never a guarantee.
Okay. Their stream audio should now be good.
We'll see if we do it again. We're only going to do it if the booster and the tower are looking really good before we attempt to bring it back here. But coming up on a minute, not tracking
now good.
any
Up my volume a bit
on the board right now. So as long as we don't
my
have
volume
any last second things, which do happen.
Pretty max. Apparently it's going to go.
All right, flight director just confirmed T-minus 1 minute.
Better mix now. Okay. 1 minute. 48 seconds. Oh, man. Sorry, I could only get here, like, I just got into 40. The office. 90% confident? 90? At least 80% confident.
Right through that.
It's going to do the business. It's going to do the tower catch again. They have tweaked a couple of the, like they've done some firmware tweaks because apparently they were very marginal on the last catch. Go for launch.
20 seconds until liftoff of Starship Flight 6.
All good.
This will mark our second attempt to catch the Super Heavy booster.
Go closer to the mic.
Tower, as well as...
Check. Come on. Go, you little beauty. Come on. 33 Raptor engines. That diverter works well. Look at this. All engines good. All engines good. Why can't I get... Oh, there we go. Full screen. All engines good. Wow, they've nailed the reliability of these engines. They really have. They really have.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
Pressure nominal? Wow. I said it for the last couple of flights. They've nailed the reliability of these engines. They've beaten the N1 curse. Beaten the Russian N1 curse.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and
Oh, look
telemetry
at that.
nominal.
That's great. I love that shot. Shows all the engines, but we get it on the telemetry as well. And the telemetry is always great. Wow. Yeah, as I said,
we're just a little over a minute.
Maximum
into flight.
dynamic pressure.
We're about
maximum dynamic
6 miles
pressure.
away, so all the sound's still hitting us here. Hearing good call-outs that power telemetry nominal, that's flying straight and true. We do see
Famous last
all
words.
33 Raptor engines.
Yeah,
lit
it's a
up
beast.
on
It's
telemetry
incredible.
screens.
It's the size of a skyscraper.
At this
and
point,
they
we've
caught
passed
it.
through that point of maximum
the
aerodynamic
catch is
pressure,
actually
that max Q.
It's not really a catch. It's more of just a precise set
Now
down.
coming up in just
and
a
just the
little
arms happen
over
to be
a
there.
minute from now is going
This
to
is
be
great.
hot staging. So we're going to see
They have nailed
the
this.
6 engines on
Wow.
the ship ignite while still
I'm
attached to the booster.
surprised
Just before that, we'll
they're
see
not
all but
trying to
3
boost
center engines on the
after
booster
this.
shut
They
down.
might try to be boosting
we call Miko, it's most engines cut
actual
off instead
payload.
of main engine.
You know, some sort of massive military satellite
And
or
so
something.
while we continue to
like
watch
that.
it go up, a lot of our flight controllers
Does anyone
looking
know
at all the systems
how many
around the
tons
tower.
it
Again,
can
we
get
have
to
send
orbit in its current
a
configuration?
manual command.
Because I think they've got another evolution beyond this, don't they? They've already built it.
Just about
Is
30
or is this
seconds
one it?
away from hot staging.
I can't remember. Sorry. Zero research. Oh, Jay says they've got a payload on this flight. Really? No, I did not know they had a payload on this flight. What is the payload? Are they going to try and open the pod bay doors? How? One
And
banana.
we heard the tower.
What's the
is go
improvement
for
for this
catch.
flight?
Booster engine cutoff.
Yeah,
The
they.
return
Whoa,
flag
there we
is
go.
set for true.
Engine cut off, and the three center engines are still going.
Start up.
Separation.
Stage separation.
They
All
relit.
right, hot staging confirmed.
relit.
6 out of 6
All
lit
right.
on the ship. Booster boost back going. We heard that we are go
Oh,
for
great
catch.
shot. Great shot. Go for catch.
Jesse, take good the views. Hopefully I got a booster coming home real soon.
Wow.
Like
our
I said,
view here,
80–90%
Dan,
confident
great views of
that
planet
this
Earth
mission
behind
goes
that
without a
super heavy
hitch.
booster. Right now it is performing the
Ship
boost
family
back
pressure
burn.
nominal.
Good news there, telling us that the
Although they've
the
gotta be
pressures
within, like-
inside the ship are
like
good. That is
inches,
the
right? They've
second
gotta be
stage
within
or the upper portion of the vehicle.
inches
Follow
of-
along with the telemetry
of
on the
the
bottom
set
of your
down.
screen.
But apparently that's
Yeah,
well, they've
booster
proven
is
they can do
currently,
that a
Super
couple of
Heavy is
times.
currently in its boost back burn. This boost
Ship
back burn,
avionics, power, and telemetry nominal.
this boost back burn lasts just a little bit
Telemetry
over a
nominal?
minute. So we've got a little, approximately 30 seconds
sorry.
left.
I'll have to move my thing.
We've had shutdown of that boost back burn. Up next will be hot stage jettison.
Wow.
The view from the
Wow,
camera
so
on
the
left,
Starship
from
is in the
booster
bottom
on the left-hand
right.
side of your screen.
So that's
and
the
then
Starship, and
tracking
this
cam
the
there on
booster
the right-hand side of your
here
screen.
is like
We'll see those grid fins.
Booster offshore divert.
it's
And we can also
no engines at
see
the
that
moment,
the,
so it's just
hot
in the
stage
hands of
has
Sir
been
Isaac
jettisoned.
Newton. At the
Yes,
moment.
visual confirmation of that there on your screen, which is great. Now the next
Starship
almost
is
missed it,
following a
Leon.
nominal trajectory.
step for booster is going into that
Yeah,
landing
I
burn.
believe
Again,
they
it'll light up
tweaked
13
the
of those
firmware for
engines,
this.
and
Apparently,
then,
some of the because they were very
pare down
marginal
to
on the
3
last
engines
catch.
right
Like it was
before
like
booster
All right, now
seconds
just
away
real
from
quick, we did
an
hear the
abort.
call out, booster offshore divert. Unfortunately, that means that we are no-go for the catch. As we said before, both the tower and the vehicle, as well as
they
the
scrubbed the
operators
catch.
on console, have been actively evaluating the commit criteria for
No!
that return
Just go
to
for
the
it.
watchtower. And
cares about the commit
unfortunately,
criteria?
we did not have a pass on those commit criteria, so we are no-go for tower catch.
And we
Oh,
did mention that we're
Tower
constantly
catch. No, they're not even
evaluating
gonna
the
try to
criteria for
attempt it.
catch. There's a lot of things that need to go well in order to line that up. Unfortunately, today we will
Damn.
forego booster catch today. But what you're seeing on your screen is
Bummer.
ship currently
There goes the
making its way
booster.
towards the Indian Ocean. Still looking good so far.
So
Exactly.
we'll get
So views
telemetry. I
there
assume they'll
of
try
the
and land
booster
it.
on the left-hand side
Because
of your screen,
they
views
do.
of the ship
I
on the
believe they'll
right-hand
try and
side of your
active.
screen.
Well, no, even
Now,
if
we
it
said
doesn't.
before that
even
it
if
was
all
not
the engines
guaranteed that
don't
we would be able
relight,
to make a
it's
tower
on a
catch today. So while we were hoping for it, like we said, it was pretty epic on attempt one.
land in the
but,
water.
the
So
safety of
it's
the
safe.
teams and the public
Oh,
and
no.
and the pad itself
No.
are
Who cares
paramount.
about the
So
pad?
we are
Who cares
accepting
about
no
the
compromises
public?
in any of
Go
those
for it.
areas.
Exactly, and we're still
Land
going
that
to get
bastard.
a lot of good
No.
flight data with booster even,
Nice shot.
but especially with ship. Again, we have an additional objective today to do an in-space relight of a Raptor engine, which again will help us set us up for being able to do deorbit burns, which is
Chamber pressure is nominal.
If the tower catch criteria
which
that
is
thin, how
important
on earth
for
are they going
orbital
to make the
flights. And
system
what
robust?
you're seeing
Yeah.
on your screen is a view
Yeah,
from
I agree.
Super
I think
Heavy
they had to go
as
for
it's
it.
making its way back down to Earth.
Yeah, once again, we are
How do you
attempting
like-
an
how do you like my
offshore
t-shirt? Get
landing
your ass to
of
Mars,
the
back
Super Heavy
front.
booster. So we have seen this before.
My Buzz Aldrin
and
t-shirt.
it is still very fun to watch.
Even though I
watching
think
it
the
come
whole Mars
down
thing's bullshit.
for a soft splashdown.
I'd love to
the Gulf
get a
Coast
human
of
flight
Texas.
to Mars, but there's going to be no
You can see
none
it
of that
there
colony bullshit.
re-entering. We saw earlier those grid fins. There are 4 hypersonic grid fins. Or we can see
Yeah,
that
they're relight that. Okay. They've got footage. So this must be an alternate barge or something, is it?
Gone down to 3, just as we expected.
Yeah. It's a barge. Look. So it's landed.
And what
They've done
an
it
incredible
perfectly.
view of splashdown that we got
Look at that.
today.
It's just hovering there.
Of Super Heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure the buoy cam views will be
boom
pretty
ski.
awesome once
don't-
again. So we'd like to confirm
Who changed
a
camera?
water landing once again for the Super Heavy
No.
booster. Congrats to the SpaceX team.
Who's in the video
for
switching room?
making
And they
that
hit the-
milestone as well.
No.
Now, ship continues to look good.
No.
We can see.
So it
that
landed perfectly.
is-
It did the whole business again, except
all
there's
of
these
that was
criteria that they've got to meet.
The crowd here in Hawthorne
Crowd goes wild.
continuing to react to all these amazing views that we're getting. The next milestone is
Man, yeah.
Terminal guidance.
They had to go for that.
Great
As
news
you
there.
saw, it worked perfectly,
Starship
but they got
terminal
all
guidance
these
referring to what we see here
extremely
on our
strict.
screen,
I heard
the
it's
upper
like
stage,
50 criteria or
at,
something,
about
something in that
8
order.
minutes,
Of
35
things that, you
seconds
know,
or
go,
so,
no go
we have
for
ship
landing,
engine
and somebody
cutoff,
went,
which will
no
be the
go.
cutoff of the
So they
Raptor
whipped
engines.
out, and you can see it landed perfectly. The engine's relit, and damn. So
We
they
can
must have
see
had a
on
barge
our
out there. That
screen
must have
ship
been the barge
giving
at
us
the
some
alternate
incredible views
location where
brought
they had a
to us
camera set up
by
so that they
Starlink.
could.
This view
because
is
it
also
would have been
very
hundreds of
interesting
kilometers
because we
offshore.
can see
So
basically the receding tile
They,
line that we
yeah, they
referred
must
to
have had a barge
earlier,
out there
where we
to
mentioned we have
get the
removed
alternate
a number
video
of
if
heat shield
this
tiles in
exact
order
thing
to
happened.
test out and push the
So,
envelope on the ship and demonstrate what
man.
its capabilities are.
No.
Ship cut off.
And there we just heard
Cut off.
call out for SECO, ship engine cutoff.
There you go.
Great news there.
Ooh,
Everything
there you
continuing
go.
to look
So what is
awesome
this payload?
for
Sorry, I missed it.
ship.
What?
Full view
Who
looking
said? Does
aft
anyone know anything
on
about the
ship
payload?
Here.
No,
Ship
by
capacity
barge, by barge I meant the camera.
Nominal orbit
The
insertion.
camera's on a
There's
little
that call out.
buoy
We're waiting
thing.
for confirmation
buoy.
of good orbital insertion.
The
for
camera
ship today.
itself. No, I'm not talking about landing on
It
a
has
barge. I'm
been
talking
a
about
very
sorry.
exciting
I meant the camera
afternoon
platform
so
where we
far.
got that view from.
We'd like to send it
So,
back over to Dan,
yep.
who can give us that live
Somebody
view
fire the
experience.
no-go
Dan,
guy.
Once
Yep.
again, are you
Imagine
okay
being the
after
no-go
witnessing
guy.
Another Starship launch.
Oh,
Yeah, totally fine. It's you guys have to be jealous. This is the only way to do this. This is fantastic. No, it was really cool to see it lift off 33 out of 33. Didn't go for the booster catch today. Initially, we were good, and then we tripped a commit criteria and did the offshore divert. So we went and did that
What is
water
the-
landing, as everybody saw.
What is
we'll
the
dig
commit
into
criteria?
it a little bit more, but again, this
Sure,
is
we'll hear more
we've
about
done
that
it
one.
once. We've now
They're
done it
they're
twice.
pretty
We're
open
going to
with
keep
what
trying to
happened.
do it. As this is just a core
Party
capability of
pooper.
Starship and what's going to make it so incredible. There's a lot left. We're just about almost 10 minutes
it's
into
launching.
this flight.
It's
so about
launching
50
Starlink
plus minutes
sats,
still
is
to
it?
go.
Really?
Ship nominal orbit. So
Are there
it's on its way
Starlink
around the
satellites on
planet.
board? Oh, that's
It's
why they
gonna
talked about the
attempt to
Pez
do an
Really, they've got the
in-space
Pez
burn. We're
dispenser
gonna
on
light
board.
one of those Raptor engines, the
Really?
sea level ones in the middle. just to help demonstrate
That's
that we can
awesome.
relight in that microgravity environment. Really
No,
critical
I don't
for
believe they
deorbit
reused anything
burns
from the
as we
booster.
start
No,
to do
it's
some
a
orbital
totally new
missions,
booster.
in the not too distant future.
Even though
And
they
then
recovered the
following that,
previous
we'll see
booster,
a
I'm not sure
ship
they
entry,
inspected it,
maybe
obviously.
a splashdown. As you guys said,
But
we're,
I don't
we're
believe
really
that they
gonna be
reused
pushing
anything.
ship on this one. We're pretty much intentionally putting it in places where we expect it might not do so great, and all that's to try and help us learn, see if we were a little too conservative, and then maybe that opens up more capability for when we start catching them. But I'll check back in with everybody in a little bit. I'm going to tune in and watch the ship fly
There you
around
go.
planet Earth.
Background
and
audio
hopefully
is
we
should
see
be
it
lower.
re-entering in the not too distant future. Back over to you guys.
Thanks,
Should be
Dan.
lower.
Development testing by
Check.
definition is unpredictable, which we saw with super heavy
Oh,
splashing down
man.
in the Gulf of Mexico today, but that is exactly why we test. As is standard for these tests, the area around the pad and along the
A single
flight path
banana
was
is a
cleared prior
zero-G
to
indicator?
launch, and we expect
Okay,
the
so
road
they got
and
a
beach
banana
to
on board.
remain closed
Payload
until
banana.
further notice.
Yeah, testing development.
Somebody said
flight
that they
hardware
had Starlink
in a
satellite.
flight
Kyle said they had
environment is what
Starlink.
enables our teams to
Is that
quickly
bullshit?
learn and execute design changes and hardware upgrades to improve the probability of success in the future. Please do not attempt to approach the booster.
Oh,
in
is
the water
Trump
for
watching,
your
is it?
safety
They
as
didn't want to
well
fail in
as
front of Trump.
For that of our team that will be working on recovery. Now,
No, it's just a banana.
We are
No.
going to continue, though.
No,
The
it's
mission
not
is
launching
done.
Starlinks. Okay,
Exactly.
Whackman
Mission's
is
not
usually
over.
in the
Ship
know.
is still coasting. But
Okay.
it has been nonstop since liftoff, and with the booster having completed its job for the day, we are going to take a short break for the next 35 minutes or so.
35
while ship
minutes.
continues to coast
All right.
before re-entry. Now, as with previous
Oh,
flights,
boy.
Starlink may enable us to talk to the ship through re-entry with no communication blackout. Now, we are still testing Starlink.
Oh, yeah,
during this
good
phase
point,
of flight,
Whackman. It's
so
not going
nothing
into orbit,
is
so how would they
completely
launch
certain.
a sat? Well,
Yeah,
I
so
thought they
if
might have.
we do have views, we will be sure
They're
to bring those
capable
to
of going
you
to
live, and
orbit.
of
It's not
course,
like they
one of those
it's not like they
views
can't.
include
It's that
of
they
our,
deliberately
as we said
decide
before,
not to
surprise payload,
for safety
the
test
banana.
reasons.
And we are
Everyone
looking
thinks, oh,
forward
they
to
can't
it.
make it to
So,
orbit.
we're
No,
gonna
they've been
come back
they've always
in
been
a
able to
few
make
minutes,
it to
around
orbit.
T plus 35 minutes.
It's just a matter of
Exactly.
re-entry
Views or no
because
views,
this thing's so
we'll be back here at
huge.
2 plus
This
40
thing's so
minutes for
huge.
our
They
coverage
really
of
want it to be
Starship's
right
re-entry,
before
flip maneuver, landing
they
burn, and
actually
hopefully
commit
splashdown.
to orbit and then a re-entry. Because if something goes wrong when it's in orbit, then it could re-enter anywhere, and you've got a dangerous situation with the size of Starship. So yeah, I do believe that is the reason why they do that. Oh, they have a ring. Okay, so they've got the... Maybe that's why they mentioned the Pez dispenser at the start. So they've got the ring. Is that what the Pez dispenser is? The ring? Thought it was some sort of mechanism, ratcheted mechanism for... and then shoot them out. I've worked on automated test gear like that. You had a big chute. You put all your PCBs into like a big chute, and it shoot through, and vroom, vroom. It was like a Pez dispenser, and it'd shoot them out. It'd shoot out the PCBs. Very cool. Oh, okay. They're testing engine relight to test they can deorbit. Okay, right. So they're going to do a controlled deorbit instead of a ballistic deorbit. Okay. Cool bananas. They are not landing Starship, no. Well, it's landing, but it's landing on the water. So, which the last two times they've done it? It has been a precise landing. So I have like 90% confidence this one will be a precise landing as well. So even though I was at least 80% confident of the booster thing, unfortunately they got so many bloody as you saw, it landed perfectly. So I'm going to bet that if they took that back to the chopsticks, they would have caught that again. Because it seemed, but there was someone in the flight control room went no go, and they aborted. So I think it might be automated too. Ah, there you go. There's the banana. There's the banana. There you go. It's just sitting there. So yeah, is that railing? Is that the Pez dispenser? Oh, was that the Pez dispenser there? Those big railing things? Yes. Yes, that's what it looked like, Pro Engineer. That offset landing, that alternate landing, was the exact same profile. It looked like exactly the same profile as it was landing on the chopsticks. And that's the data that they wanted. Well, you know, they... Yeah, and it looked like it landed absolutely perfect. It hovered there, and it, you know, it was absolutely spot on. So I have little doubt it would have caught that chopstick on the chopsticks again. They just didn't go for it. Some stupid criteria, stupid abort criteria for the, yeah. I heard that they've got like dozens, maybe like 50 of them or something. And it might be automated as well, in the sense that if the internal systems don't get... so maybe somebody didn't call no-go. Maybe it was the actual booster itself that called no-go. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, rather than someone didn't have the balls in mission control to land the thing. Oh, man. No, you got to go for it. They've been going so well recently. Yeah, you have to go for stuff like this. So yes, I do believe that was an absolutely perfect landing. So that's an actual success. But they just didn't land in the... They landed in the alternate location. And if there was a barge out there, they probably could land on a barge, even though it doesn't have any deployment legs or anything. It would have landed on a barge and then toppled over. So there's no point. You might as well land on the water. No, Apo. You are correct. They aren't launching any payload, but they still haven't... What? They still haven't been able to land safely with all that spare fuel. Yes, they have. The last 2 missions, both the booster and the Starship have landed safely. What are you talking about? That landed perfectly. Did you not see the video? It came in exactly like it was in the previous tower catch, and then it just hovered there. And it just like absolutely hovered there. And I'm sure it was actually bang on to within 5 centimeters or something, as the previous one was. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Is that the flight parameters are really tight for that tower catch, and if any one of the systems, apparently in the last tower catch, they were 2 seconds away from the system aborting, like auto aborting or something. But then one of the parameters came good, and whoop, and it went okay. I'm going for the tower catch. They should. Oh man, there's got to be a way to override that. Yep. Oh. How long until re-entry? I believe it's quite a time. They said at least half an hour. There it is. So is this Pez dispenser arms? How does this work? That looks massive, doesn't it? What is it? 12, is it 8 meters across? Yeah, so is that the Pez dispenser? It looks like it's some sort of gantry thing, rather than, but I don't know. Like, does that move up there? Does that move up and down there? That looks like it's on some sort of linear slider, right? That looks like it's on a slider. This looks, is that fixed down there? But this looks like, looks like it's on a slider. 9 meters, is it? Yep. So yeah, I believe we've got like an hour until re-entry, or at least half an hour before they actually come back. That's why there's no commentary. Oh, man, that's a bummer. I wanted the tower catch again. But it did land perfectly, so there you go. So they're at 190 kilo. It was still going up. It was just 189. I think it just ticked over to 190. And it's going at constant speed. Yep. Oh, it's going to start to come back down. Yep. Starting to, oh no. Just the least significant digit there. Least significant digit error. I don't know if that's the internal support structure or not. All I heard in 2 seconds before they launched was that something about the Pez dispenser. There it is again. So, yeah, not. They've got some tanks there or something. Are they tanks? It could be tanks for the cold thrusters or something, maybe. Jeez, that's a big ass payload space, but yeah, I don't know. It looks more than just internal structure. It looks like this might be or part of the Pez dispenser, because I swear that looks like a linear bearing. That looks like this whole upper gantry can move up or down. Am I wrong? Yeah, you think they're cold gas thruster tanks? Yeah, I think so too. Yes, that is a banana. They're going to try an engine relight in vacuum. Cool. Okay. I thought they'd already tried that. Guess not. Oh, here we go. We might have some info from John. On the catch, the engine relight pump spin up was set late and nearly didn't relight, in which case I guess the rocket would have crashed next to the tower. Okay, right. Is that speculation, or is there something on, is there an update on Twitter? Okay, they've never had an engine relight in space on Starship. Cool. Well, they obviously need that. Duh. Okay. Yeah, they've relit in vacuum, but for this, yeah, but is this a different, technically a different engine? I don't know. So, yeah. Interesting, huh? That's got to be... Yeah, because these were not on the previous one, so... Wonder how much all that gantry and stuff weighs. Is that just aluminium or something? I don't know, but So is the banana going to like float around or what? They've got cables what go into the banana, and it's just sitting there. Oh, they aborted, did they, Marcus? Okay, they're going to relight the Raptor on Flight 4, but they aborted. Okay, interesting. Oh, that looked spot on. That water landing looked absolutely bang on. Yeah, because on the previous one before the last one, they knew that they were within, I think, 5 centimeters, they said. They knew they landed that booster within 5 centimeters. That's why they were confident on the tower catch. And that's why the tower catch actually, and obviously the tower catch was bang on within centimeters. And I reckon I'd be stunned if this one is not within centimeters either. So, yeah. They've absolutely nailed it. It's just, yeah, they've got so many systems involved that are sensing everything, and if one of them goes bad, they're just going on the safe side, but they could have easily landed that. You saw it, it was bang on. So whether or not it landed on the chopsticks or whether or not it landed in the ocean, that landing was bang on. So that was a wrong call. If it was a human that made it, with hindsight, it was a wrong call, or if it was the automated system, it was the wrong call, because it made it. It seemed to have made it. It seemed center frame to where the camera was, so it looked like it was perfect location, because the camera was set up there, pointed exactly, they knew exactly where the alternate landing was going to be. So I reckon it was within centimeters. The banana is probably frozen solid. Wouldn't it be awesome to get it back and then eat it? Musk walks up to the landed Starship and takes the banana. That'd be great. Yes, Merlins, yes. These are Raptors. Most of the on-orbit relight experience, yeah. Yep, that's what I thought as well. But can somebody check, are these the latest generation Raptors? Because I think that, like, because they've already got like 5 Starships freaking built. And there's so many, and they've got new, like the new modernized one. So is this like the latest build of the Starship, or is this still like an old build for testing purposes? Because they keep iterating so fast. It's crazy. Trumpers at Starbase. Right. I don't, if Trump's at Starbase watching this, I don't believe that they would have aborted because they were scared that it would actually blow up on the pad in front of him. I don't think that's a thing. I don't believe that at all. I think it would, I think it was probably an automated system call, because I'm sure they mentioned that on the last one. There were like 50 things that had to give the okay, otherwise it automatically aborted to the alternate landing spot. No, I think they seem to imply, John, that it was a system thing. That I think they might have even said the word, some system criteria was not met. Well, I guess one of the system criteria is tower. Is the tower okay for the catch? So that could certainly be it. Yeah, okay, could be. Yes, because I'm sure, you know, the systems, they have to make sure that the tower's ready to do its army thing and, you know, its hydraulic-y catch thing. And if the sensors coming back from that are bad, then they will abort the actual attempt. So yeah. Yep. Yeah, I still think they have the old engines. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought too. Motors is version 2. Okay. Yep. The lightning rod on the tower is bent? Really? I didn't know it had a lightning rod. Okay, it was Flight 3 that they aborted the relight. They stated tower was okay, booster was not. Okay, thank you, Mr. Agony. Right, so, yep, some sensor in the booster was not happy, but you saw it. It landed perfectly. So, oopski. Oops. Hang on for a sec, guys. I gotta check something. Ironically, I am checking starshipit.com. Starshipit. I'm not kidding. I'm going to starshipit.com right now, which is my shipping software. I'm just checking because I think I've got some packages to ship this morning. So I might have to actually, it's probably worth my while to go do those now. I think I got a couple of DHL pack. I'm just checking my orders. It is relentless. Thank you for shopping on evblog.store. Yeah, I've got 2 DHL packages that have to go out this morning. Yep, I'll go do those now. So what I'll do is I'll turn the audio back up, and I will leave the feed going because we want to see the end into this. But I am just going to get, another 3 packages. Just got to go and pack and ship 3 packages. So I will be back. I'll turn the audio up so I know that I'll be able to hear it. Cool. So chat among yourselves. I will be back. All right, I'll be back. What's happening? Banana can. Wouldn't you know it? I'm completely out of stock. Well, here, I've got to go down to the dungeon to get more stock. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And somebody wants 2 BM786s. Yeah. And I've only got one on the shelf. One on the shelf. Oh, another one. Yeah. All right. Damn it. Hang on.
We are just about 35 minutes into today's flight
30
test.
commentary's
Continuing to
back.
Get some live views from Starship itself as it continues to make its way around the globe. We are coming up on what we will hopefully see is our in-space relight demonstration. This will be firing
Coming
up
up.
one of those 3 sea-level Raptors on the very aft end of the ship and essentially reigniting it while we're in that microgravity environment in Earth orbit. We had attempted this once previously on Flight 3, but ended up skipping it when we had some attitude control issues with the ship.
Right.
And we are on the dark side of the planet right now, so views are going to be a little bit dark, but hopefully we see some engine light come on as we do this relight test. This is a pretty critical capability for doing deorbit burns. This is not a deorbit burn. Want to stress that we're on a trajectory where if we didn't fire off the engine at all, we are definitely coming home. Ooh, seeing some
Yeah, but it's going to change here.
Thunderstorms down on the ground. That's pretty cool.
Landing location,
but
though, isn't it?
This is not a deorbit burn. If we didn't fire this engine, we're
do
on
they correct?
a intentional suborbital trajectory. So no matter what, we're coming in over the Indian Ocean. Firing off the engine does change your exact splashdown point a little bit,
it does.
but we've got this keep out zone across the entire Indian Ocean that we made sure was clear ahead of flight.
Does that mean we're not going to get
during,
footage of the landing?
We're going to aim for that and hopefully see this relight test coming on in about a minute. It's just going to be one of these engines.
All right.
And it uses what's called the header tank, so these small spherical tanks in the very top of Starship, up in the nose cone. They don't require nearly as much gas
cylinders we
to
saw
pressurize as your main tank, so they're really useful for any in-orbit maneuvers and then for landing burns. So if we make it to a landing burn today, we'll be using them for that as well. So we should be coming up in just about the next minute. Should be under a minute now away from that expected ship burn.
Relight the Raptor.
And again, we've relit Raptors pretty frequently. We just did it with the landing burn and that boost back burn on the booster, and we've done it on ship.
Yeah, I was wondering what the lightning
just
flashes
haven't
were.
done it in
Are they
this
lightning
microgravity environment where your propellant management and a lot of other things are different?
Was that actually lightning?
The force of Earth's gravity.
Here we go. Yeah, look, it relit. They said only one engine.
The call out for startup.
Yep, it relit.
There's some light. There's that Raptor relit. And shut down.
What's that thing floating off?
All right, there you have it.
Did you see that thing?
Ever lighting a Raptor while in outer space.
That was it. Yeah, because they didn't want to change the landing location much.
So really cool to see that relit. That's a pretty critical capability that we're going to need when we're doing orbital missions in the not too distant
future. Because you only need to light it for a couple of seconds to test that it actually lights.
That was a really cool. That
so
was
if
an
it lights,
objective
it's going to keep on working.
Wanted to hit on this one, and so good to see ship knock that one out in orbit. But for now, we're going to coast for just a little bit longer, and then it'll be time for ship entry. So we'll get the usual light show as we return from hypersonic velocities. We're just starting to do the entry prep for that, so we're going to get the
we have
positioned,
some Elon derangement
and
syndrome.
then it's going to start taking the brunt of all of that heat as you're coming in from well in excess of 10,000 miles an hour. That's all going to
insulation, was it? Yeah, it looked like it was like some sort of foam or spongy thing.
The atmosphere, building up that friction, and we're going to see how the tiles fare. We've also got some pretty cool tile experiments that we'll talk about in a little bit. But
tile experiments
coming up real soon. Ship re-entry, successful relight, and we'll start this entry part soon.
All right, I'll be back. I have to pack and ship a BM235 meter. I'll be back. go. Yes, I have to do it because the Sendle people, I put one out yesterday, and if I'm sending by Sendle, which is basically the postal system, then they pick up, but they pick up the next day. So I printed one yesterday, and an order came in overnight, so it was sitting out there. There was one sitting out the door there, and a second one came through overnight, so I just whacked it out there as well, just in case they pick it up like now. And I've got 2 more DHL orders. I've got 1 Australian order. Oh, someone ordered a micro sleeve. And I got 3 BM786s by DHL. But as I said, I've only got the one. Only got the one there. So I have to go down to the dungeon and get a whole new box. I've only got 1 box. I'm down to my last box of BM786s. So I've got 30 BM786s left. If you want one, get one now. Alright. They moved it. Oh, we got some glow. Move the top flaps further back. Yeah, it's looking very toasty. Does anyone know how many minutes left until splashdown? Because that will determine if I've got time to go down to the dungeon or not. Isn't it like another 20 minutes of this? Does anyone know? 42, 17 minutes left. Mr. Agony.
Starship is at 100 kilometers altitude. Good attitude for atmospheric entry.
Okay, good attitude. You heard that. Okay, this is still the old design Starship. Alright. Alright, bugger it. I'm going down to the dungeon. I'm going to get my BM786s. I will be back.
Welcome back to Starship's 6th test flight. It has been an exciting day so far. We lifted off from Starbase at 4 p.m. Central Time. The Super Heavy booster and ship had a successful separation as well as a good boost back burn and good separation of the hot stage adapter. We did not attempt a return to the launch site and catch attempt today when strict criteria were not met, and the Super Heavy booster executed a planned divert to a landing burn and soft splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, obviously we were hoping to come back to the tower, but this was a test and we knew that it was a very viable possibility.
Starship is at 85 kilometers. Flaps now have control of the vehicle.
All right, great news there, turning our attention over to the star of the show here, giving us these amazing views once again. We heard the call out there telling us that the Starship vehicle is now 83 kilometers above, coming up around T plus, well, now actually, the ship, as you can see, is beginning to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, one of the main goals of today's flight test is for the ship to make it through the extreme heat of re-entry and to do so in a controlled manner. Now, re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communication capability with the spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or about 5 miles per second. Now at those speeds, yep, pretty fast, the spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere rather quickly, and that results in friction, as we can see that starting to happen on our screen, and this creates a plasma field around the vehicle. That blanket of plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication.
Starship is approaching the peak heating phase of entry.
Ooh.
And we just heard
What's
we're
happening?
getting into the peak heating phase. We're getting these views.
Symmetrical
courtesy of
multimeter
Starlink.
stacking.
We've got
No
4
human would possibly
different
stack
terminals
multimeters
on
like
the ship
this.
itself. It's
What's happening?
really allowed us to get
77
real-time
kilometers,
data during
76,
what's otherwise been
okay.
just a mystery box essentially for spacecraft design, where when you're re-entering through the atmosphere, at least getting anything in real time hasn't ever been possible before. But we're able to not just get these views, but real-time telemetry from the ship as it's coming through. Do really want to stress that we are really pushing the ship today. The heat shield
75?
is not in the same configuration as it was last flight, where we had a team of ship techs do just an otherworldly task, replacing the entire heat shield, thousands of tiles, installing a backup ablative, and that pretty much set us up to do a pinpoint landing on Flight 5. We did not do that with this one. We have some backup in those really sensitive areas around the flap, but this is an older generation heat shield.
Did they say it wasn't pinpoint,
we
the last one?
Do that, we even went and removed some extra
Ooh,
tiles.
was
There
that
were some
ice
missing
inside
tiles
there?
on the nose cone where we're
I don't know if you
testing some
saw that.
backups. There are some steel-covered tiles in a couple of different spots.
Steel-covered
and there's also
tiles?
a whole lot more steel of the ship showing, as you guys talked about. We
Right,
gave it a little
these
bit
are
of
the
a
tile
haircut,
tests they're talking about,
a couple
different
hundred
types of
tiles trimmed off the sides, and that's where we might have catch fittings in the future. But color's starting to come in, so it looks like things are going to start heating up, Kate and Jesse.
Whoa.
Yeah, fun fact,
Look at
Dan,
that.
we actually removed 2,100
That's
heat
burning
shield
metal,
tiles
isn't it?
from Starship in order to
Coming off? One of the
basically
flaps,
present that
I would
necessary
presume?
receding line, which you kind of can see there in your view. Think back
No?
to previous
No, the
flights.
flaps are up like that.
The
They shouldn't
heat
be
shield
burning.
line came up further on the vehicle, and just like Dan said, we want to test
Yeah,
the
where's all that-
vehicle beyond
where's all that
what we think it is capable
coming from?
of carrying based on our simulations and calculations. So once again,
Something's
to
burning.
just be super plain, don't be surprised if we see some wackadoodle stuff happen here.
Wackadoodle.
We won't be. There are a number of things that we are testing out intentionally
Be
to
prepared
see
for
what the ship
wackadoodleness.
can take.
Yeah,
You see
exactly. And
holes?
knowing what those limits are
Something is
will
ablating.
really help us design the vehicle of the future.
That could be
Essentially,
the
removing
ablative
those tiles
vacuum.
helps us
Yeah,
remove a
burning
lot
metal,
of weight
it
from the
seems like
vehicle,
it,
a lot of things
doesn't it?
that might potentially need refurbishment in the future. And the goal is to come up with a heat shield pattern or design that we don't have to refurbish. We can just continue to use it over and over again. And
Wackadoodle is
that's
a
why we're
professional
changing some of
technical
those
term.
tiles and moving stuff around, removing a lot of those tiles, as Kate has been mentioning.
This is going to take a
Exactly.
while. I'm gonna
And,
go pack and ship.
you know, looking forward to the Starship capability of the future, we want to be able to catch Starship like we do with boosters. And so the next flight, we want to better understand where we can install catch hardware, not necessarily to actually do the catch, but to see how that hardware holds up in those spots. And today's flight will help inform, you know, does the stainless steel hold up like we think it may based on experiments that we conducted on Flight 5? Now, continuing to look, amazing views. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's so much on this flight that we're doing to try and, you know, make all the ships that we're about to start flying even better, just really understand what their capabilities are gonna be. We've got kind of the next gen ship lined up for Flight 7. It's got all of those heat shield upgrades and everything. And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's most interesting, and one of the reasons we wanted daylight, is we're going to be flying pretty aggressively as ship comes in. We're going to be kind of nose down, and we've done it in wind tunnels, we've done it in simulations. You might see the flaps really flapping around trying to control the vehicle. We're betting we might have a little bit more capability than we think in just the analysis, but always a chance that bet doesn't pay off. But that just helps us know, like, what are our
Starship
limits.
is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Sweet. Halfway there, halfway home, guys.
Yeah, and if you guys, again, can follow along with the altitude and the speed of ship as it's making its way back down to Earth, bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Speed is still going really, really fast. Again, as it gets closer to Earth, we'll see that altitude drop a little bit faster. It's kind of dropping pretty slow right now. And again, as we get closer and closer to literally the surface of the water, then we'll start to see that speed pick up. And if we can make it through this re-entry, we will attempt to do that flip maneuver once again and splash down in the ocean.
Exactly. Like we've been saying, we are testing beyond the perceived limits of the vehicle. We want to go learn more about the ship, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So really pushing the flight hardware in a flight environment to help inform these future designs. As we've mentioned, it has a different heat shield. This heat shield is not the same generation as what we flew last time. This one is one generation older. So we are also testing out new secondary thermal protection materials. So basically, like, if the heat shield isn't in this one spot, can this other material protect the metal? Is the thinking there. Also checking of the ship's structural strength in those areas where we're looking to add that ship catch hardware, just to see if it survives entry. So yeah, as we've been saying, we've done a lot of calculations and simulations. This view right here is super cool. This is looking out from the aft engine bay, basically at the bottom of Starship.
And shipped 2
then
DHL
on
packages.
the center left-hand
So my mate
panel,
Nixon
if
will
you
be here
will,
to
we
pick 'em
have
up.
one of the
That's actually his name,
forward
Nixon.
Starship flaps.
DHL
So one of the
guy,
flaps
he's awesome.
located at the top
And
of the
he'll be here
vehicle.
to pick them up.
Underneath that is one of the aft
And
end flaps,
I manifested them,
like the one
packed,
that we see
shipped,
in the main
printed
picture
labels,
there
did
on
all
the
that in
right-hand
what?
side of your screen.
2
Now
minutes?
these views as the
Pretty
vehicle
good.
continues to enter the Earth's atmosphere, drawing a crowd once again here at SpaceX and Hawthorne as folks tune in as the mission continues on. Now, the next event that we have coming up,
How's the light show?
we should hear
Geez, it takes a
the
while to
call
re-enter,
out
doesn't it?
that the vehicle
Takes forever.
is transonic around T plus 1 hour and 2 minutes or so. That means that the vehicle is traveling near the
I've
speed
had
of
the
sound.
wackadoodle
We say near
thing
the
up.
speed of sound because there are certain parts of the vehicle where airflow is going faster and other parts where it's going slower. So it kind of teeters there on the brink of the speed of sound. So Once we have equal flow on all parts, then we'll hear it's subsonic.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and almost real quick, almost a reverse of. I'm sorry, Jesse. Almost a reverse of before. We see the Earth starting to come into view. We've got
sorry for the doodle block
over the Indian Ocean. So
all right.
This is going to look different from any of the re-entries we've had before. And it was
going to look
specifically
different.
so like we get as much
and it's
daylight
going to
as
be
possible to see how
it's
ship
going to
does
be in
this.
daylight this time. So the
Over to you, Jesse. Sorry about that.
barge,
Dan,
the
great minds think
buoy,
alike.
the
That's
buoy,
exactly what I was going to
you
point
buoy
out. Is that we're
fanboys,
getting
with
a
the
lot
camera on it,
clearer view
it's going to
of
be
the Earth in
daylight
the
this time, so we
background
should be able to
with,
see it
the different
perfectly in
temperatures
daylight.
that we're seeing with the different
So,
colors
see some cloud coverage there.
of that plasma around the ship.
So
which
yeah,
is
whereas
really,
before
really
it was
cool
at
to
night
see.
time, so
Again,
all we had was this dark
we
silhouette
are
thing.
pushing the limits of ship today.
It was still pretty cool though,
so
but now this
far,
one should be in
everything is
full
looking
daylight.
pretty nominal.
Yeah.
We'll see how the next few minutes goes.
Yeah, like we've said before,
Be awesome
don't
if they
be
lined it up
surprised
so
if
like the
this is not
sunset is in the background. or
entirely
something.
smooth sailing all the way down to the ocean's surface. Similar to Flight 5, we are targeting the same splashdown location.
Whoa, what's
in the
that? Is that a
Indian
tear
Ocean,
in the?
But we are not expecting
the wing?
to recover the vehicle.
Right, and we were getting some glimpses of the flaps.
They're not expected
the
to
flaps
recover
so
it.
far
Duh, it's going
are
in the
looking
water.
pretty good.
Well, they
We're not
didn't- they
seeing
fished out
any
the
burn
last one.
through. There's those flaps again
Or
in
was
that
that the
hinge
booster?
area, which is
I
our
can't
most
remember which
concerning
one they
area
fished out.
there.
looked
That's
pretty
great
cool.
news for us
Thank
for
you
now.
very much,
Again,
Pro
the
Engineer.
next few minutes could change
is
as
toaster
we
time.
continuously push those limits.
Yeah, once
It is.
once we slow down
Very
a little
much
bit,
toaster
for
time.
subsonic,
I almost-
essentially, so I think that's
well,
about
yeah.
1,200
I was offered a
kilometers
job
an
as
hour.
a toaster designer.
Once we're down
I
below
kid
that,
you not.
that's when we're going to kind of
I kid
dip
you
our
not.
nose down and get that
Oh,
more
I
aggressive
don't know how
angle
this
of
is like
attack.
20 years
Normally
ago or
we're
something.
just
It was a long time ago.
belly flop
But
right
yeah,
into
I
the
went for
water,
this job
pretty
interview
much
at this
that
contract
position.
design firm.
But
It was
if
like,
we're
you know,
gonna
just
be
a
able
small
to
like
do
design
return to launch
consultancy, one of those
sites,
contract design.
we're going to
you
want
know,
to be able to fly
and, you
with
know,
a little bit
just
more of
a
an
few
angle of
employees or
attack, get you
something.
a little bit more
And
range as you're
one of
coming
the
through.
contracts they had
And so this will
was
be just
designed
a
for
test
this
to see
whiz
quite
bang
how far
toaster.
can we push it.
And
But obviously
apparently
we're gonna
some
do these kind of
Aussie
tests
guy had this
way out
patent
here in super remote areas
for this
before you
toaster.
ever try to
How's
bring a
the
ship
audio?
back to a place like Starbase.
I'll turn it
Starship
down.
remains on a good
He
entry
toaster for
trajectory.
this audio.
External temperatures
This
are coming
patent for
down.
the toaster for this audio. His patent for
Alright,
this
great news
toaster
there. That tells us
that
that we are
didn't use
through
elements. It
the
actually used
phase
hot
of
plates
peak heating.
that they can
So
control the
we are
temperature of. And this dude
expecting the,
figured that
these
realized
temperatures
that
to
if you
continue
like
to
these
come
two
down.
plates, so if you put them
Once
either
again,
side
we
of the
are
bread,
targeting
then
a soft
and you get them at the
splashdown in
right
Indian
exact
Ocean,
temperature profile,
around
you can
the-
actually get a
off the
perfectly
northwest coast
brown
of-
toast
of
every time,
Australia. We can
perfect.
see
And
these beautiful views of
and
planet Earth
yeah,
coming
he
in.
wanted
Yeah, this
somebody
is
to
very
design
different where
the
we
the
had
controller for
nighttime
this, or the
views
whole toaster
of
thing,
the ship
right?
as it was
So,
re-entering, and now we've got daylight. It
so
is
my
about
first,
an hour
my main
or
job,
so after
upon
sunrise
if I
there
started
in
at this,
Indian
he
Ocean.
offered
So
me the job. I
pretty
turned
cool
it
to
down
see
though,
this.
Yeah,
because
and
I
it
didn't
might
want to
not seem like it
design
makes a huge difference,
toasters.
but we do get a little
Because
bit
it was
more
a
light
running
on ship
joke
as well
on
for
the
cameras that
Oz
we have,
Electronics
which is very
Forum at the
beneficial
time.
for
Geez,
us
that looks
to
close, doesn't it?
visually
But it's
see
not.
anything
Still
and
40 and 50
try
K's
and
up.
correlate that to any of the
Because the
sensors or
joke
data
on
that
the
we
Oz
have on the vehicle.
Exactly.
Electronics
That is
Forum
why
at the
we
time
shifted our
was
launch from there so
a
that we
was an
could
infamous
have
troll on
that
there,
daylight in
and
order
he was
to
like a
improve
toaster
our
repairman.
observations
So
of
it
the
was
vehicle.
like
So not only are
it
we
was
getting all the
it was
raw
just like a
data
running
from
joke,
all the
like
sensors that are
toaster
on
design or
board
toaster repair
Starship, but
was
we
like the
also
bottom
have
rung
multiple cameras
of
and
engineering.
assets out there that
So,
are
yeah,
watching the vehicle
I
and
went,
will also be able to tell us
I don't
with
really
this
want to be a
visual
toaster
story that is
repairman.
also
Oh,
very,
sorry,
very
a toaster
important.
designer, which is one step up from a
And
toaster
as we
repairman.
get
But
down a little bit lower,
you know,
the Raptor
Yep.
engines are
Anyway,
in their chill phase
there you go.
right
No,
now,
sorry
so
to anyone out there who
just essentially
designs
getting them
toasters. I'm sure
primed
it's
to
a
turn
I
on.
design
We're gonna
simpler things
use
than a
those
toaster.
3 center
Let me tell you.
to do
But
a
yeah,
landing
yeah. So I
flip
turned down
and
a job as
landing
a toaster
burn, so
designer.
we'll come down kind of in that
I
slightly
can't remember the
pointed down
name of the
belly
company. Not
flap
sure
and
if
then
they're still
fire
going.
off
Some
those
little tin
engines
pot firm.
to flip us around
And
then do that final landing burn. That should be coming up in just under 5 minutes from now.
5 minutes
And then
landing
hopefully
burn.
we start hearing some call outs on transonic and subsonic as we slow down. Again, Once you hear
Check.
Starship is
Check.
subsonic,
Okay, I should be
keep
a
a
bit
close
louder than
eye on
them.
the flaps.
But no,
they're
but
going
the
to
thing,
be
auto
working
gains.
overtime
I think
essentially
I've set the
to maintain control of the ship as we get a little more aggressive with
StreamYard
this.
for auto gain.
We can see that we are
Lens
beginning.
Starship has
grubby.
passed maximum entry dynamic pressure.
Maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, great call out
Passed.
there. But we can see on this view here that we do have some heating there.
Yeah, I've
on,
seen
that
the
looks like one
technology
of the
connections
forward
video on
flaps
the toaster.
Starship.
Yeah.
This is to be expected. We knew that the vehicle would perform differently than what we had seen on Flight 5. This is actually really good data because it tells us what parts of the vehicle at this, what will soon be a higher angle of attack once we drop down
like
below the speed of sound.
When it
We'll
has
have
the
a higher
water
angle
there,
of
it just
attack,
looks
meaning
like
we're
so
gonna be
close,
flying
like
nose
it's
down,
hundreds of
basically.
meters above or something.
So yeah, this is good news, but we can actually,
not-
looks like that heating is starting to cool
Obviously,
off there.
it's a nice cloud.
Yeah, it's a little
Nice
burn
clouds
through.
there, lovely.
Again, it is important to note
But
when
we are going
start
to
seeing that
land in
through
daylight this
the
time,
ship's
so we're
descent
gonna see the
as
whole
well.
thing.
So, like Kate was saying, we're getting some
4,000
really good
kilometers
data
an hour.
here.
It's slowing down real
looks
quick.
like the other flaps are doing a little better than the one that has a little burn through, which is some good news. Again, constantly watching. We've got a couple minutes until we're expecting to make it all the way back down to Earth.
Exactly. And like we said before, we are not expecting to recover the ship, although that would
What
be
happened
great.
to the toaster?
That would be a
Can-
nice bonus if it happened, but it's not really in our
What happened to the
expectations
banana?
today.
Can somebody
really
give me a
wanna
banana
push the
update? Did
hardware,
you
as
see
we've
like the
been
banana
saying.
floating around?
But really, the
Or
telemetry and the
did
data
anything happen to the
and
banana?
the video that we
I need
receive
to
all
know.
the way to the end is truly what we're looking for and will help inform the future designs of this vehicle.
We can see some flap movement as the camera is moving around. That's what you're
there's the
seeing
best
there
excuse
is the
for
flaps
what?
adjusting.
Failure?
And we have a
No,
camera
they're
on one of the flaps
deliberately
there.
doing this.
This is the view that you're seeing
They
there.
deliberately didn't go to orbit. They
And
deliberately
you can
didn't
also
try
see the graphic in the
chopsticks
bottom.
catching
Starship
in.
is slowing down past Mach 1.
Well,
And
because
call
of
outs
some
aligning with
failed,
this. You
some
can see
sensor
the
which
orientation of the vehicle
didn't matter
starting
a
to
rat's by the
change. You
looks
can
of it.
follow that graphic at the bottom of your screen. Again, that is why those flaps are changing. They control the orientation of the vehicle.
the banana
there are
exploded.
four-
This is.
Go ahead, Dan.
Starship has started
Whoa.
the subsonic
I
belly
was gonna-
flop, remains on a good trajectory.
I was gonna say this is when things
Is that just buffeting, or
will
is
start
that?
to get a little interesting. So
or
this
is-
is
or
when
is it
we're-
doing-
we're
or is that the
moving
flap-
slower than the speed of sound? You can see that nose slowly start to tip down, and we're gonna try and
Wow,
maintain
that's an
flap
amazing
control the
shot.
whole way. But we are just a
Only
couple
600
minutes away
Ks
from
an hour.
hopefully doing a landing flip, landing flip and landing burn if the flaps can hold together.
Yeah, this is such a cool view.
Well, the flaps look
this
good.
reminds
Did-
me
so did anyone
of
see any
when
damage
we
to the
first
flaps?
performed the belly flap
Yes,
maneuver
the,
on the
cameras
high altitude
on the wing,
test
yeah,
with
not-
serial number 8.
not-
We
it's only
saw
one flap,
the
or two.
ship come back through, and I always wondered what it looked like from the ship's perspective, and this perspective, I think, helps inform that.
yeah,
we will
the
be,
wings
as
are
Dan said, we
intact.
will be dipping
So-
down a
something
little
just fell off.
further and
Belly
really
flop
be flying
time?
nose first.
8
This
kilometers.
higher angle of attack, we're
Altitude,
intentionally
500
doing
Ks
it
an
to
hour.
stress those aft
Oh, there's no
flaps,
fuel left. Look,
and that
check
will
out
help
those tanks.
inform the limits of
Nothing
flap
left.
control in order to collect data for
Hang on, he's
future
going up,
landing
or is that my
profiles.
imagination? No, that's my no. It's just a cloud in the background. It's the same
I
color
mean,
as the
we're
bar graph.
looking good so far. We've just got about 5 kilometers in altitude to go.
Coming
we'll,
up on
we'll
those
ignite the
clouds.
engines when we're still just a couple
That's a
hundred
great
meters
shot. This is
over the ground.
fantastic.
Do that
Starlink's
flip
Starship
and
is passing
fantastic.
through 5 kilometers altitude, remains on
care
a
if
good
you're-
trajectory.
I have a feeling this is going to
Biggest
look
E1
so
hater in the
cool
world.
as
You
it
gotta.
passes
Here
through
we
the
go. Look.
clouds.
Here we go. This is great.
Obligatory shout out to the entire avionics team on Starship.
Whoa.
And there's that nose down
happening.
orientation.
Yep. Nose down, and then the flaps are moving. Yeah, it's
Now
flipping.
the Raptor engines will relight and help flip the booster back up. This is a more severe flip given the
Here we go.
orientation.
Here we go.
The engines will shut down prior to the water
going
making
up.
impact, prior to the vehicle making
And I'll
impact
switch
with
to the
water.
camera on the boy.
Our ship is doing great so far.
Oh, relit.
There's
Yeah,
those
yeah,
engines relighting.
it's going to do it. It's going to do it.
What
Look
a
at this.
great
Perfect.
reorientation
Perfect.
by Starship.
Oh, was that the boy down there?
Wow.
I think you could
All
see it.
3 down to
Look at
2
this.
into the water.
Starship is landed.
Wow.
And we have
Wow.
ship splashed down
Yup.
in the Indian Ocean.
Probably not.
some
Wow.
awesome buoy cam action here. Daylight views.
There it is. It's on fire. No explosion. There's hardly any fuel left.
Incredible. We really pushed the limits on ship
Sorry, I
and
had
made
my
it
head
all the
over
way
the-
back down to Earth.
Part of the landing there.
I am shocked, to be honest.
Wow.
I think many folks are. The
Why are you
fact that
shocked?
it survived all the way through while flying a lesser gen heat shield is just absolutely incredible.
Okay, that's what they were
And,
testing a
turns
lesser
out
gen
the
heat
vehicle had
shield.
more capability than our calculations predicted, and that is why we test like we fly.
Exactly why we do that, and those views were absolutely
There's people
incredible
wandering
to watch.
around in the background
Because of
that they
Starlink,
weren't
we were
watching
able to
the
get the views
landing?
all the way down, as well as the buoys, seeing ship touchdown in daylight.
So cool.
I know.
So
There's
cool.
there's a
Now
high
we
five
want
there.
to, unfortunately, wrap up the show.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say congratulations to our teammates at
There you go.
SpaceX and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And
Thank you,
to
Banana
all
Girls.
of our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Oh, Australian Space Agency.
Be sure to
What did we do? No. Hello. They're getting instructions in the earpiece. She's just being professional, smiling.
Hey guys,
They're both
I can
being
take it from
professional,
here.
smiling.
That was just incredible to see
on 'em.
that splashdown. As you said, thanks to everybody that took such a huge part in this. Everybody here at Starbase that's worked on this program,
This
just
dude
really pouring
again.
your lives into it.
He's
Great to
some
see another booster
engineer
liftoff.
lead
We'll
or
catch it
something,
the
I
next
think,
time.
from memory.
Great to see ship in the water. New version of ship coming soon, so a lot more exciting launches coming up real soon here from Starbase. But I'll send us out this time. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you very much, Banana Dude.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Be sure to follow SpaceX
Dan,
on X
there
for
you go.
updates and more exciting views that we weren't able to feature on today's broadcast.
I'm sure there will be plenty of those. Now, thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Shout out to Australia, yes. There you go. Thank you, Banana Girls. Thank you to all the banana team. Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. If you've got kids, you'll know. So, there you go. That was it. That was mental. Can we, replay that?
As you said, thanks to everybody.
No, you can't. No, we can't replay
I
that,
could
right?
take it from here.
No, it's not a replay
That was just
thing.
incredible to see that splashdown. As you said,
No.
thanks to everybody.
All right. Cool. Cool bananas. Ah! Get it? Hot bananas. No, they would have been pretty cool inside there. In fact, they would have been frozen solid, probably. Go clean up my mess now. Yeah, it's a shit house. Yep. Yes, we do have an Australian Space Association. I've got a sticker. Check it out. Official Australian, back to front. It's upside down and back to front. Australian Space Agency sticker. There you go. So if you flip that, yes, Australian Space Agency. No, you can't see through it. Nope. There you go. But yeah, Australian Space Agency. We do actually have a space agency that does stuff. Amazing. Oh boy. There you go. That worked. That basically worked. That was another perfect thing, except there was some sensor somewhere that caused them to abort. Either a human pressed the abort, or it was an automated abort by the actual booster, the hardware on the booster. The flight computer on the booster might have called the abort automatically based on the sensor data, which I think they implied was possible last time. They have that as a failsafe just in case it loses comms. Then, yeah, I believe they probably could have you wouldn't design in so that you couldn't override it, so that a human couldn't override it. So even if the booster made the call for no tower catch, someone in flight control just went, no flight, negative flight. Imagine being the negative flight guy. Negative flight. And then everyone just goes, oh, fuck. Everyone's waiting for another tower catch. Trump's there watching, and someone's got to explain to him. The new head of, the vice president, Vance, will now be in charge of the space. He'll be in charge of all the US space efforts. Isn't the vice president automatically in charge of the Space Council and hence NASA? I do believe it's the vice president. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yankee Doodles. Yeah, it basically operated as designed. Yeah, no, it was perfect. That booster landing, I guarantee, I'm 99% sure that booster landing would have been within 5-10 centimeters of where it was supposed to be. It was absolutely perfect. It came in at the right, exactly the angle it was. It does exactly the same thing it does for the tower, except it lands in a different location. And they forced it to land in a different location instead of the tower. But it would have caught it. I have no doubt the tower would have caught that again. No problems. So, yeah. And the Starship landed perfectly. Well, we'll see. We'll get better footage of that. But yeah, it landed spot on. Once again, right in the middle of the frame where the buoy was set up and the camera was set up, so they knew exactly where it was going to land to within the centimeter, and they pointed the camera in that direction, and that's where it was. And apparently with crappy heat tiles on it, because they were testing out the heat tiles. I don't know who's in charge of the Australian Space Agency offhand. It does have, like, they pick somebody, but it's somebody I've never heard of. I'm not sure who's above them. I assume they report to the Prime Minister? Or is it a Senate appointment? I don't know. Who's head of the Australian Space Agency? The head minister responsible. Yes, there is a minister. The Minister for Industry, Science and Technology is Ed Husic. So Ed Husic is the minister responsible. That's right. You don't report to the Prime Minister, you report to a minister. Yes, and the head is Enrico Palimo. Is an Australian mechanical engineer, businessman, and the head of the Australian Space Agency. Was the former president of the Spaceship Company. Who's heard of the Spaceship Company? Which develops and maintains space planes for Virgin Galactic. And former chief operating officer. There you go. So this guy has chops. Former chief operating officer at Virgin Galactic. There you go. So the former CEO, or COO, chief operating officer of Virgin Galactic, is the Australian Space Agency head. There you go. There you go. Enrico Palermo. He's got a BE in mechanical engineering, a BS in physics and applied mathematics. There you go. Former mining guy. Cool. Cool bananas. There you go. Looks like he lives in Adelaide. He's got 2 kids. Cool. There you go. That's head of the Australian Space Agency. And reports to Ed Husic, the Honourable. And, yep. He's the Minister for Industry and Science since 2022. I should have known that, but, you know. Who cares? Yeah. No, he's the first Muslim to be elected to federal parliament. And he's from Sydney. There you go. So that's who is in charge of the Australian Space Agency. I don't trust politicians, but the actual head of it sounds pretty capable. So there you go. Yes, I agree. It's a decent resume. Former Chief Operating Officer at Virgin Galactic. It's pretty good. Indian moon landing? Was there another Indian moon landing? Is this recent? Did I miss an Indian attempt to land on the moon? Didn't they land it last time? Who was it? Yeah, didn't India land on the moon? Geez, what, a year ago or something? I'm sure he's paid well, yeah. Yeah, some of the politicians just stay out of the limelight, you know. Some politicians, same in the US, you know, there's like, people have been in, you know, Congress for 50 years and nobody's ever heard of them because they just don't say, they just collect their massive paycheck and go home. Yeah, I thought the Indians landed on the moon. Yeah, a year and a half to 2 years ago. Yeah, landed as in splat. Okay. Did I do a live stream for that? I can't remember. Well, we don't have sane people as politicians. That's for sure. Starbuck. We don't get sane politicians. Seen the ridiculous laws they're trying to pass at the moment? We're the international laughing stock. What ship shit was sketchy, Ben? I thought the everything went perfectly. There were no engine problems. Even they passed the engine relight in space. Everything went perfect except for one sensor that caused an abort on the landing, on the booster landing. So yes, I declare that a winner chicken dinner. Another one. So that's what, three? That are 3 in a row that are perfect? 3 in a row that are perfect, right? As in booster launch, no engine failures, all 33 Raptors. And then the booster landing, 3 perfect, by the looks of it, 3 perfect booster landings, one of them caught. And this one just, yeah, it easily could have caught that. I have no doubt that if they went for it, they would have caught it again. So 3 perfect booster ups and downs. That's amazing, given that this is bigger than the old Soviet Union N1, with what, it had 30 engines or something. This has 33. And it came a gutser, real bad, several times. And yeah, this one's amazing. I'm stunned that they don't put a payload on top of this damn thing. I'm sure that the US military would love to put hundreds of tons into orbit. So yeah, 3 perfect boosts. And yes, it can go to orbit. They deliberately decide not to go to orbit. That is a very deliberate thing for safety reasons. Because Starship's just so big. If Starship doesn't do its deorbit burn properly, that's why they tested the engine this time to see that it could do a proper deorbit burn, which passed. And yeah, if it doesn't do that, then this thing is crashing on the ground somewhere. And if they have a non-controlled deorbit, then yeah, bad safety risk. Even though 2/3 of the world is ocean, but you know. And you've only got a certain trajectory strip anyway where it could possibly land, but still. Yep. Yeah, so that's great. So, and they're not even using like the latest Raptors. They're not even using the latest Starship yet. And these are all built and apparently in the pipeline to fly. That's why the turnaround time on this thing was crazy. What? It was only, what, 6 weeks ago or something that they flew the last Starship one. Wasn't that long ago. Yeah, they should launch another Tesla into space. Rocket Man. Yeah, it could get stuck in orbit, but it's eventually going to deorbit. And when it does, it's a big-ass object. And it will survive. It won't burn up in the atmosphere. It'll survive, and it's hitting the ground somewhere. So, yeah, they have to master the deorbit burn. And they tested that this time. So I think next time, I think the next test, Flight 7, they will once again go for the booster catch, and they will go for a full deorbit, maybe Starship landing on a barge. Does it even have the legs to do it? I don't know. Will they try and land Starship back at some other landing site? I don't know. But yeah, seriously, that's very impressive. 3 missions in a row that are basically bang on. Basically bang on. So just the fact that they landed on the water and the thing explodes, but it landed precisely where they intended to. So, yep. Okay, next launch will be the first Block 2 Starship. There you go. Okay, what is the difference with a Block 2 Starship? I know it's the new design. It's redesigned wings or something, doesn't it? Or something, I don't know. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they try and put a payload into orbit next mission, as well as land him. Go for broke, Jesus. Yes, very boring name. It was basically a success, except that they aborted the tower catch because some sensor was reading wobbly, but it landed perfectly on the ocean. It was just landing in the alternate location perfectly. So, yeah. Larger propellant tanks. Oh, okay, Rassenbot. Cool bananas. Excellent. Cybertruck to land on Mars before 2030. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. For those who don't know, for those who think I am an Elon suckass, I am very critical of Starship. I think Starship is a very bad way to land on the moon. Or at least land humans on the moon. Might be okay for cargo, but it's got to land like Thunderbird 1. It's got to like come down on like Thunderbird 1. None of this like landing vertically on the moon bullshit with something so big. You're just going to come a gutser. So yeah, it's so I don't like it for human stuff. I don't like Starship at all, but for orbital capability and getting sheer payload to and from the moon, it could be really good, but they got to master the in-flight refueling, and then you got to have like a dozen launches before you can load it up with enough fuel just to get it to the moon. And bloody Apollo went there with 1 rocket, 3 men, and a moon buggy, all in just the 1 rocket. Went there and came back, did the whole mission, and that's what they need to do again. They need to do they need to just redo Apollo. With modern hardware, do it exactly the same way. Get a Falcon Heavy. Get a Falcon Heavy, can do it. Human rate the Falcon Heavy. Stick an Orion bloody capsule on top. Stick a lunar lander, little spidery lunar lander. And Bob's your uncle. Do orbital moon orbit rendezvous again. Do exactly the same thing. And just bloody do that. Yep. Need to get boots on the moon again. It's been too long. It's basically reset. The space race has reset itself. If China put boots on the moon, no one's going to give a shit that America got there first. No one's going to give a shit that America did it 60 years ago. You know. Yes. No, that is not rubbish. I am not kidding, Jay. Yes, they need to refuel for the moon. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, it is rubbish that they need to do it. I think that's what you mean there. Yes. Yeah. To get one Starship to the moon with any decent payload, they need to make 10 flights up, right? So they need to send a lunar Starship up, a lunar Starship, which is probably different to regular Starship, especially if it's going to land. They have to send it up, right? And then it sits in orbit, just sitting there waiting, and then they've got to send 10 more Starships up. I'm not making this shit up. It's at least 10. Some people say maybe 15 Starships up to then do in-orbit refueling above Earth to get enough fuel onto the one Starship, the one lunar Starship, which then goes to the moon. It's just insane. It's just insane. There's got to be a better way to do it. It's just, well, I know there's a better way to do it. Freaking Apollo did it. You just want to get humans there. And yeah, Starship might eventually be okay if they can nail the in-flight refueling and everything's, you know, yeah, they're launching every couple of days or whatnot, maybe. But Jesus, it's not a solution for getting humans to the moon. Maybe it turns out to be the solution for getting like massive payload to the moon, actually to the lunar surface. Like, you know, people are talking about converting Starships into habitats and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just land them horizontal. And then you can just pour lunar soil over the top soil. Regolith, you know. They can pour that over the top for some extra shielding or whatnot. And yeah, they can turn into decent little moon bases. But I was watching For All Mankind last night, and I really love the moon base in For All Mankind. That's what it needs to look like. That's what it really needs to look like. What if there's no need to speculate about that? Well, you can speculate about that bit, but that's what the series For All Mankind is about. The Soviets beat the Americans to the moon, and, well, we live in an alternate timeline. Yeah, that's what they did with Skylab. Yeah, Skylab was just an old booster. Yeah. Yeah, the famous video of them running in the ring around the inside of the... running upside down on the inside of the booster. That was great. Yep. Disturbing regolith is not a good idea. Why not? I thought it was an electrostatic problem for the dust and whatnot. What? They really said that. Want to build one Starship booster every 8 hours. That's just ridiculous. Why? Why? And don't say Mars. Please don't say Mars. No, you want to send humans. Politics reply guy. If you're the politics reply guy, how do you not know that it's politically expedient to get boots on the moon before the commies do? It's space race all over again. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not confident in Artemis using Starship as the lunar lander. That's why they hedged their bets on the actual lander itself. I don't like Starship for human rating. I don't like it. Confidence is not high. Doesn't have the right vibe. Oh, yes, it was. Yes. Yeah, it's not good, but I don't think, like, just getting a little mini dozer and moving it over the top is, you know, yeah, there are challenges to working on the moon, for sure. But I'm sure you could cover it. Sure, you could cover a Starship with some lunar regolith with a little mini dozer, little automated robot mini dozer or something. Oh, Fran's. Hey, Kerry. Fran just did a stream, did she? So you came here. Well, I'm probably going to have to call it quits too. Because I got stuff to do. Unfortunately, no one cares, Bob. No one cares. Politics drives it. Politics drives the money to do it. So, you know, yep. Like it or not. No, you don't get it. Politics reply guy. You don't get it. No one gives a shit. And if you colonize under the ocean, no one gives a shit. If you colonize underground, no one gives a shit. If you colonize, well, maybe they might give a shit if you colonize Antarctica. That's why we have the Antarctic Treaty. But yeah, no, the moon's up there. You can stand there and you stare at it. And if you know the commies are up there with their space station, with their base, with their moon base, then yeah, I can't believe you're the politics reply guy and you don't understand that. Wow. I've got a Buzz Aldrin t-shirt. There you go. There you go. Get your ass to Mars. Buzz Aldrin. Thank you very much. Got my signed Buzz Aldrin poster over there. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. I do not agree, Kerry. In what way was this mission, if not a total shit show? How is it a total shit show? The booster worked perfectly. Booster landed perfectly. Okay, it was in the alternate location. That was the only thing that went wrong because probably some sensor or something decided it didn't want to do it, but it landed perfectly. All the engines worked. All 33 engines worked. All the landing burn worked perfectly again for the booster. Absolutely spot on. And Starship worked perfectly. The engine relit in space. That was a big deal. Relighting the Raptor in space. That worked perfectly. And then the entry landing burn of Starship was perfect. What more do you want? That's as far from a shit show as I can imagine. It was perfect. We just didn't get the spectacle of yet another chopsticks landing, but it would have worked perfectly. It was positional accurate. Both the booster and the Starship were positionally accurate. I guarantee they were within 5-10 centimeters of where they were supposed to be. Perfect. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to call it quits. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. That was not as exciting as I hoped, but it did work perfectly. So that's 3 missions now. 3 missions that are absolutely bang on for both Starship and the booster as well. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Catch you next time.